There's a reason Sigma males stand apart from every other type of man. They don't follow the same social codes. They don't chase attention, approval, or popularity. Instead, they live by a set of quiet, almost invisible rules that guide everything they do. These rules are not written anywhere. You can't learn them from books, schools, or influencers. You only discover them when you live like a Sigma, when you stop seeking validation and start valuing independence above everything else. In a world obsessed with status and noise, the Sigma male's rules look almost insane. While everyone else fights for attention, he stays silent. While others compete for dominance, he walks away from the game entirely. To the outside world, that silence feels mysterious. To those who understand it, it's a kind of discipline that gives him control over his life. Sigma males don't reject society out of arrogance. They simply see through it. They understand how social systems are built on insecurity and constant comparison. Instead of trying to climb the ladder, they step off it completely. This is what makes them unpredictable but also powerful. They can move in and out of any environment, adapt quickly, and never lose themselves in the process. Every action of a Sigma male is guided by a personal code, a private set of principles that he doesn't talk about, but always follows. These are the hidden rules only Sigma males live by. They're not about rebellion, and they're not about superiority. They're about control of mind, time, and purpose. Once you understand these rules, you start to see why Sigma males never need to prove who they are. Rule number 1. Stay true to yourself. The first rule is the foundation for everything else. Stay true to yourself, no matter the pressure. Sigma males know who they are and what they stand for. They don't bend their identity to fit someone else's expectations. This isn't pride, it's clarity. Most people spend their lives adjusting themselves to please others. They act differently depending on who they're around, hoping to be liked or accepted. The Sigma male rejects that completely. He doesn't chase acceptance because he knows that real strength comes from consistency. If you have to change yourself to be liked, the approval you get isn't real. Staying true to yourself means knowing your values and never trading them for comfort. It means saying no when everyone else says yes. Sigma males don't follow trends, fake confidence, or copy what works for others. They find what feels real and stick with it. That's why they often appear mysterious. Because in a world where everyone is trying to blend in, authenticity looks rare. This rule also explains why Sigma males don't argue to prove their point. They don't need to. When you live according to your own code, you don't seek validation through debate. You let your choices define you. The Sigma male's calm confidence comes from this stability. He doesn't wonder who he is every morning, he already knows. Staying true to yourself also means accepting solitude when it's necessary. Many people are terrified of being alone because they depend on others to feel secure. The Sigma male is different. He understands that alone time sharpens his sense of self. He uses solitude as a mirror to measure his goals, actions, and emotions. In that quiet, he resets and strengthens his identity. In simple terms, the Sigma male never trades truth for popularity. He would rather walk alone in peace than stand in a crowd pretending to be someone else. That is the first and most important rule that separates him from the rest. Rule number 2. Speak less, act more. The second rule Sigma males live by is to speak less and act more. In a world where everyone talks endlessly, the Sigma stands out by staying silent until it matters. He doesn't waste words and he doesn't perform for attention. His focus is on action, not appearance. Most people use words to build an image. They promise, brag, or explain to make others see them a certain way. The Sigma male understands that real strength doesn't need explanation. You prove who you are by what you do, not what you say. That's why his silence carries more weight than someone else's speech. When he finally speaks, people listen. This rule isn't about being antisocial, it's about discipline. The Sigma male values control over impulse. He knows that careless words can expose weakness, waste energy, or create unnecessary conflict. By speaking less, he protects his energy and his focus. He studies situations before reacting, letting others reveal themselves first. This habit also gives the Sigma a natural advantage. In conversations, he listens deeply and observes everything: tone, body language, motives. While others talk to fill silence, he uses silence to gather information. This makes him perceptive, strategic, and hard to manipulate. People rarely realize how much he's learned about them because he doesn't show it. Speak less, act more also applies to success. Sigma males don't announce their plans or talk about their goals. They just work in silence until the results speak for themselves. This is why their achievements often surprise people. While others were busy showing off, the Sigma was quietly building something real. The less he speaks, the more his words matter. The fewer promises he makes, the more powerful it is when he keeps one. That consistency earns him quiet respect, even from those who don't understand him. It's not charisma that gives the Sigma influence, it's credibility. And credibility comes from action, not talk. In a noisy world full of opinions, the Sigma male's silence becomes his greatest strength. He doesn't need to win arguments or dominate conversations. He knows that results always speak louder than words. Rule number 3, prioritize independence over belonging. For the Sigma male, independence is not just a lifestyle, it's a core value. Everything he does revolves around maintaining his ability to make choices without being controlled by others. This rule might seem simple, but it's what truly separates him from the social structure most people live inside. The Sigma male understands that belonging to a group often comes with unspoken rules. You're expected to think, act, and even dream in ways that fit the group's identity. For most, that's comforting. For the Sigma, it feels like a cage. He doesn't want to trade freedom for approval. If being accepted means giving up autonomy, he'll choose solitude every time. Independence doesn't mean rebellion for the sake of it. Sigma males are not trying to prove they're better than anyone. They simply know that freedom allows them to build life on their own terms. They want the ability to decide what success means to them, not have it defined by others. That's why they often avoid office politics, social drama, and cliques. They'd rather stand alone than be trapped by expectations. This rule also shapes how they handle relationships. A Sigma male values connection, but he'll never become dependent. He believes love or friendship should come from mutual respect, not need. When someone tries to control, manipulate, or limit him, he walks away. It's not a lack of emotion, it's self-preservation. Living this way isn't easy. Independence requires strength. Most people say they want freedom, but when it comes with isolation, they break. The Sigma male doesn't. He accepts the cost because he values authenticity more than comfort. That's why he can seem distant, not because he dislikes people, but because he refuses to lose himself in them. When you live by this rule, you stop asking for permission to be yourself. You stop explaining, apologizing, and adjusting just to fit in. That's the Sigma way. Prioritize independence, even if it means walking alone. Rule number 4. Observe quietly, decide thoughtfully. This is one of the most powerful and underrated rules Sigma males live by. They rarely rush into anything, not decisions, not relationships, not reactions. They move carefully, watch everything, and act only when the time is right. Most people react immediately to emotions or pressure. They speak before thinking, commit before analyzing, or fight before understanding. The Sigma male does the opposite. He observes first. In a conversation, he listens. In conflict, he studies. In opportunity, he waits. That patience gives him clarity and control that others don't have. Observation is not weakness, it's awareness. Sigma males know that the person who sees the most often wins the quiet battles of life. They're not driven by the need to prove themselves quickly. Instead, they let things unfold before choosing a direction. This calm analysis is why they rarely get caught in chaos. In social settings, this makes them unpredictable. Others might think they're detached or uninterested, but the Sigma is simply collecting information. He sees patterns, motives, and behavior that most people miss because they're too busy talking or reacting. That insight helps him make decisions that are strategic rather than emotional. This rule also defines how Sigma males approach risk. They're not afraid of taking chances, but they never act blindly. Before committing, they think through the consequences. They calculate not just what they could gain, but what they might lose. Once they decide, though, they commit fully. Their actions may look sudden, but in truth, they were planned long before anyone noticed. By observing quietly and deciding thoughtfully, the Sigma male maintains control over his life. He avoids drama, reduces mistakes, and rarely regrets his choices. It's not luck, it's discipline. In a world addicted to speed, he's the one who wins by slowing down. Rule number 5. Let results do the talking. Another key rule of Sigma males is to let results do the talking. They don't waste time explaining what they're going to do. They simply do it and let the outcome speak for itself. This rule separates the achievers from the pretenders. Sigma males understand that most people talk about success more than they actually pursue it. They make plans, post about them, and crave recognition before the work is even done. The Sigma male has no interest in that cycle. He values privacy during progress and silence until completion. That's why his achievements often appear unexpected, because no one saw them coming. This rule comes from a deep belief in self-respect. A Sigma doesn't need external applause to feel accomplished. He measures success by his own standards, not public approval. If he's proud of his effort and his growth, that's enough. Others may not even know how much he's done, and that's exactly how he wants it. This mindset also builds credibility. People start to notice that when a Sigma says something, it happens. He doesn't exaggerate or make empty promises. Over time, that reliability earns him respect, even from those who don't like him. His quiet confidence becomes undeniable because it's backed by proof, not performance. Letting results do the talking also protects him from unnecessary competition. Sigma males don't waste energy comparing themselves to others. They focus entirely on their own goals. This is why they often succeed in unconventional ways. They're not chasing someone else's path, they're building their own. When you stop announcing your moves and start showing your results, people start paying attention. That's the Sigma method: consistent action, quiet success. He doesn't need to say he's capable. He proves it through results that speak louder than any words could. Rule number 6. Reject the social ladder. Sigma males live outside the social hierarchy. They don't chase titles, ranks, or validation from authority. This isn't rebellion for its own sake. It's a conscious rejection of systems that demand conformity. The Sigma male understands that the ladder most people climb is built on perception, not truth. It's a race to nowhere, where people measure success by how high they appear, not how fulfilled they feel. While others compete for attention, promotions, or influence, the Sigma male quietly focuses on mastering his craft. He knows that chasing recognition ties you to the opinions of others. Once your self-worth depends on applause, you're no longer free. That's why he refuses to play the status game. He measures progress by personal growth and results, not rank or reputation. This attitude makes him both respected and misunderstood. Some see him as lazy or antisocial because he doesn't engage in the usual power struggles. But the truth is, he's simply uninterested in playing games that don't lead to real freedom. He doesn't need to dominate others to feel powerful. Self-control gives him that strength. Rejecting the social ladder doesn't mean rejecting ambition. Sigma males work hard, but they choose their own goals. They'll build their own business instead of climbing someone else's corporate hierarchy. They'll create their own systems rather than begging for access to existing ones. That independence is what makes them unpredictable. They don't compete where everyone else does. This rule also keeps their ego in check. They know that power and attention are temporary. One day you're on top, the next you're forgotten. The Sigma male doesn't seek validation from status because he knows it can disappear overnight. His sense of identity is built from within, and no ladder can give or take that away. By rejecting the social hierarchy, Sigma males find freedom that others can't. They stop being controlled by the need to win and start living by purpose. That's why they seem detached from competition, because they've already outgrown it. Rule number 7. Reserve trust and energy for few. Trust is rare for the Sigma male. He doesn't give it easily, and when he does, it means something. This rule is not about being paranoid. It's about valuing energy and protecting peace. The Sigma male understands that trust is not something to be handed out. It's something to be earned over time. Most people spread their attention thin. They share their thoughts, secrets, and emotions with anyone who seems friendly. The Sigma male doesn't. He knows that too much openness invites problems, gossip, betrayal, manipulation. So he keeps his circle small and his loyalty deep. To him, real connection is about quality, not quantity. This selectiveness makes him appear distant, but it's not coldness. It's caution born from experience. The Sigma male has learned that not everyone who smiles has good intentions. He studies people quietly before letting them in. If someone proves consistent, honest, and reliable, he'll trust them completely. But once that trust is broken, there's no going back. Reserving energy is another part of this rule. The Sigma male doesn't waste time on drama or people who drain him emotionally. He's protective of his mental space because that's where his clarity comes from. Every hour, every conversation, every interaction costs energy, and he chooses carefully where to spend it. This rule also helps him stay focused. When you only give attention to those who matter, you stop being distracted by noise. You start building meaningful relationships instead of shallow ones. That's how Sigma males maintain peace while others drown in social chaos. Trust and energy are currencies of the mind. The Sigma male spends them wisely and expects the same respect in return. That's why the few people he keeps close feel valued. They know they've earned a place that not many reach. Rule number 8. Value solitude without letting isolation win. Every Sigma male understands the power of solitude. It's where he thinks, resets, and reconnects with his purpose. Unlike most people, he doesn't see being alone as a weakness. He sees it as a necessity. But the key to this rule lies in balance. He values solitude without letting it turn into isolation. Time alone allows the Sigma male to filter out distractions. The world is full of noise, and solitude gives him space to hear his own thoughts. That's where his ideas grow, his goals sharpen, and his emotions settle. He uses solitude like a tool to recharge, reflect, and rebuild. But he also knows the danger of staying in that space too long. Isolation can slowly turn peace into emptiness. The Sigma male recognizes that even the most independent person needs connection to stay grounded. He doesn't avoid people completely, he simply chooses them carefully. He'll spend time with those who bring calm, not chaos, those who understand silence instead of fearing it. This balance is what keeps him emotionally stable. Many mistake his solitude for loneliness, but it's actually control. He decides when to engage and when to withdraw. He never allows others to dictate his pace or access to his life. That's what makes his independence sustainable. It's freedom without detachment. By valuing solitude, the Sigma male protects his peace. By avoiding isolation, he protects his humanity. He knows that true strength comes from understanding both sides, the quiet of being alone and the warmth of genuine connection. He doesn't need constant company, but he respects the rare people who understand his silence. This rule is why Sigma males stay centered even when life gets chaotic. Their solitude isn't an escape, it's preparation. Every time they step back, they return sharper, calmer, and more grounded than before. The Sigma male doesn't need to announce who he is. His rules are invisible, his actions quiet, and his motives simple: freedom, truth, and self-mastery. While the world chases approval, he chooses clarity. While others build networks, he builds inner strength. His rules are not meant to impress people, they exist to keep him disciplined and independent in a noisy world. These rules aren't about rebellion or superiority. They're about control, not of others but of the self. The Sigma male understands that the greatest form of power isn't dominance, it's direction. When you control your time, your choices, and your emotions, no one else controls you. That's what the Sigma life is about: calm power, quiet purpose, and the freedom to walk away from anything fake. Living this way doesn't make him perfect. It makes him rare. The Sigma male accepts that not everyone will understand him. Some will call him cold, others will see him as distant. But that doesn't matter. His focus isn't on being understood, it's on being real. And in a world built on pretense, that's the ultimate rebellion. The truth is, anyone can follow these rules. You don't have to be born a Sigma to live like one. It's about changing your mindset, shifting from external validation to internal strength. When you stop chasing approval and start chasing purpose, you naturally begin to see life the way a Sigma male does. You learn to listen more, react less, and rely only on what's real. That's why the Sigma male remains a mystery to most people. He's not playing the same game. His rules are not written on paper, they're written in how he lives. You can't fake them because they require discipline, self-respect, and silence. 3 things the modern world struggles to understand. At the heart of every Sigma male's life is a simple truth: peace matters more than popularity. Everything he does revolves around protecting that peace. Whether it's choosing solitude, avoiding drama, or rejecting control, each decision is rooted in the same principle: freedom of mind. He knows that noise is everywhere, in conversations, in competition, in expectations. The only way to rise above it is to step back and think clearly. That's why his rules seem extreme to others. They're not about isolation, they're about focus. To live like a Sigma male means to live intentionally, where every word, choice, and connection has meaning. These hidden rules are not just habits, they're a lifestyle. Staying true to yourself builds identity. Speaking less sharpens your power. Independence guards your freedom. Observation gives you control. Results prove your worth. Rejecting the social ladder frees you from comparison. Selective trust keeps your circle pure, and solitude restores your balance. Together, these principles create a life that's self-directed, grounded, and unshakable. But this life isn't easy. Following these rules often means losing comfort, recognition, and sometimes people. Yet for the Sigma male, that's a fair trade. He would rather live with peace and solitude than with attention and noise. He doesn't crave the spotlight. He creates his own light, quiet, steady, and strong. The world may never fully understand the Sigma male, but that's exactly the point. He isn't here to be understood, he's here to be free. And freedom, real freedom, comes only when you stop living by other people's expectations and start living by your own. At the end of the day, the Sigma male doesn't need recognition, applause, or agreement. He only needs to know that he's living honestly, with discipline and purpose. His life proves a lesson most overlook, that peace is earned, not given. It's built through choices that seem small but are deeply powerful, staying silent when others shout, walking away when others chase, thinking before reacting, and choosing solitude over chaos. The hidden rules he follows aren't secret because they're complicated. They're secret because few people have the patience to live them. In a culture that rewards noise, silence feels rebellious. In a society obsessed with being seen, invisibility feels powerful. The Sigma male understands that real influence comes not from being noticed, but from being unshakable. To live by these rules is to live with purpose. You don't need to call yourself a Sigma to follow them. You just need the courage to stand alone when it matters. The goal isn't to become mysterious or untouchable. It's to become real, independent, and grounded enough that nothing outside of you can shake what's inside you. And that's what makes the Sigma male different. He's not above others, he's beyond the game, quietly, calmly, and completely.